I'm Vanessa Van Alstyne, and welcome to an Art I Swear sad podcast. What's a sad podcast? Well, it stands for short and dirty. This weekend, I made a podcast about the British artist Damien Hirst. To make it to where it didn't fall entirely in the TLDR range, I had to cut a lot of stuff out. One of the things I regret having to cut out was a little segment on... Now, if there were a few of you that were looking at Damien Hirst's art and thinking, gee, that looks really familiar, well, the reason his work seems familiar is in 2000, he was part of a movie called The Cell. Now, he didn't act in it, and if you're going, The Cell, where do I know that? Well, it was by Surem Singha, who did Mirror Mirror, and starred some amazing actors like Jennifer Lopez and Vince Vaughn. And you know, Truth Singh's work, maybe he stood stuck to music videos. There's not a lot of content. It's about a female detective named Catherine Dean, aka Jennifer Lopez / J-Lo. And she has to dive into this serial killer's mind and find out where his last victim is because he's unable to tell her, and redeems him in the process. It's really stupid, but really beautiful. And one of the more memorable scenes is in the serial killer's brain. She comes across a horse that has these glass panes slide down the center of, splits them in half and pushes them apart, and you can still see the guts and anatomical bits churning. Total CGI. You can see that he did have an impact on a movie. It's a pretty visceral scene, and I've had people since then be like, I remember that guy. I looked up who he was after The Cell. I wanted to know what that dead horse had to do with things. Another pop culture reference from a show I really enjoy is Damien Hirst being referenced in The Venture Brothers. Now, one of the creators of The Venture Brothers is a painter. I want to say it's Doc Hammer, but I don't want to have his name wrong. Don't slap me if I got it wrong. Anyways, in the episode, The Family That Slays Together Stays Together, they're hiding out in a hotel. Rusty Venture's in the bathroom. Brock's in the main room with the two boys. And this sword fighter wearing like an elephant outfit bursts into the room, and Brock ends up slicing him right down the middle with his sword. Where Damien Hirst is referenced, and maybe you can see this coming, the boys have been trying to be real helpful through all of this, and Brock hands Dean a cell phone, tells him to call someone called the Cleaner and tell him that there's a Damien Hirst situation. So, you know, if you've listened to the Damien Hirst podcast, or maybe picked up on what he does from the earlier reference to The Cell, you can now see why that comment was really funny. And maybe, like, you know, if your friends don't listen to the podcast, you can watch that episode of The Venture Brothers and seem really smart, you know, and just, you know, impress people, win friends. Isn't that the goal of life? Well, this was a short and dirty podcast, and I'm Vanessa Van Alstyne. You guys have a great day.